Welcome back to another Battleborn video. Battleborn's at Gamescom this week, so I figured I'm gonna burn through a lot of this week, try to get a bunch of these out, because the more I see about this game, the more I get excited about it. As well as in the forums, Randy V, once again, is talking a bit more about it, kind of every day. Give us new little hints and details. They're opening up about the co-op, which is really cool. They just announced a beta is coming very soon, and we should get a release date in the next couple of days. So, yeah, maybe it's Battleborn week. So, Caldarius, this guy is our Gundam in the game. And I don't know about you guys, but I freaking love Gundam. I remember watching the original Gundams. I had the original Gundam series on VHS back in the day, and I just love that whole series. So getting a playable Gundam, really cool. And I think he's going to relate to a lot of Borderlands players, especially Zero players. I have a feeling are going to like him. Why I say that is he's got a lot of mobility. He's a hit and run. He's not a tank, even though he looks like it with kind of heavy armor and stuff. He is a hit and run character. Kind of like Zero, with execute, many must fall, follow through, kind of that movement speed, deception. That's kind of how this guy plays. He is part of the Jennerit faction, and the Jennerit faction, I guess there's like three parts of it, and it's split up, and they kind of, part of them have worked with the bad guys, the other part have split off to kind of defend. And Randy V, not P, but Randy V, the developer, he was kind of hinting at there's a lot of drama with the Jennerit faction and a lot of lore, and it's going to be interesting. It sounds like they're really building the story up in this a lot more than I thought. When you just keep hearing, oh, there's going to be one last star and everyone's converging to defend it and they all have their planets there. That all sounds cool and whatnot, but it's like, whatever. It sounds like a kind of just a premise to get a bunch of different kind of characters together. But now that they're starting to talk more about it, it really feels like they've done a good job developing this world. And that's one of the things that attracted me to Borderlands was they, even from the first game, they had this kind of universe that you wanted to be in, not actually live in there because Pandora is a terrible place, but you want to go to Pandora and play in Pandora, and Pandora was interesting, and it's almost a little Star Wars-y, the way that Star Wars just created this whole system and universe that you want to be a part of. And it looks like they're doing that with Battleborn, maybe even more so than they have done with Borderlands. So that's exciting as well. So moving on to getting back to the character here. So Caldarius has two attacks. He's got his TMP, which is like an automatic pistol or submachine gun, and he's got his energy blade. One will be, right click, the other one will be left click, or right and left trigger once again. And that is right here as I circle my mouse around that. And next you have his assault frame. This is kind of vague here, but you can augment it for high mobility or maximize damage output. Moving on. Gravitic Burst. This launches him forward, dealing 142 to 214 damage on impact. And although the last character, Boulder, had something like this, Boulder's is more like a heaping lunge, like a pounce, where this is, from what I've seen, more like Zero's Execute, where you just dash forward and hit them. Next you have Flashbang, which is cool. It's a low damage attack, but it's the debuff. Firing a grenade that deals 70 to 94 damage and blinds enemies for 2 seconds, and it's got a decent explosive radius from the videos I've seen of him. So that's really cool for a hit and run character, especially. You pop that in there, you burst in, you mess up a bunch of dudes, and you get out. Then you have Aerial Assault. This is his ultimate ability, and this is pretty sweet. You have to stop saying so much. You launch into the air, and after a second, you activate the skill again to land at a target area. So he jumps up, and then you can kind of aim around until you find that spot you want to land in, and then he like bursts down there with the speed of his rockets and just creates a massive nova. And it does good damage to it, 200 to 425 damage. I'm assuming like the closer you are to the impact and the more you go out, it does less. Could be wrong there. But it's a massive AoE effect, and it looks really sweet as well. And then his passive ability there, Gravitic Manipulators, he can launch, basically he can double jump. And double jumping is awesome. Not all characters can do it, so this goes towards that mobility. And I know Zero didn't have a double jump. Double jump doesn't exist in Borderlands 2. Well, I guess you could double execute when you miss things and go to hit a buzzard. But Zero was a lot about mobility. And that's what this guy is. So, Tier 1. Energy Cascade. Activating Gravitic Burst instantly reloads your TMP. That sounds great. You slam in there, and then you have that ready to shoot them as you go out, or shoot them as you're in. Enemies blind or bloodied. Enemies affected by flashbang suffer bleed damage plus 60 damage over 2 seconds. Now, flashbang already has low damage. This doesn't sound like great damage, although it sounds like decent. But I think I'd almost go for the instant reload over this, because flashbang is more about the debuff than the damage, at least from what I've seen so far, which is very little. So take that with a grain of salt. But so far, I like the left option there. So Tier 2, Exit Strategy. Caldarius launches into the air after striking an enemy with Gravitic Burst. So this is a cool way to play him if you want to kind of, is a hit and run strategy. You burst in there and you automatically kind of jump out, and then you have the double jump. So I'm assuming when he launches, then you can jump further out. Or as you're up there, you can kind of spray him with your TMP as you jump away. And then the other one, Zealous Frenzy, activating Gravitic Burst, increases Energy Blade attack speed for a short time, 15% attack speed. So this is cool if you'd rather go in there and hack a bunch of guys and try to finish them off. You have that option. So here you have 2 totally separate playstyles already in Tier 2 to make him play differently. And I think that's really awesome. Tier 3 increases maximum sprint speed plus 9%. Or Overdrive, activating any skill increases movement speed for a short time, 30% movement speed over 2 seconds. This is cool. It's all about mobility once again. He is a mobility character, and I think that's going to really apply to a lot of people. So the sprint speed will always be on, but that's only running, not walking. Or Overdrive, and the thing about Overdrive, they're still tweaking it, so maybe they're going to change this, but 2 seconds just seems like not enough. I mean, 30% movement speed, not including, so that's just normal walking. Sounds great for combat, especially if you're doing like a melee hybrid thing, even more so. Movement speed on melee characters is incredibly good. But 2 seconds, it's going to be over with so fast, it seems like. Unless maybe the cooldown on these things are faster than I think, especially when you get all 3. But yeah, still 2 seconds seems low. So hopefully they tweak that, or maybe I'm just totally off and within combat that's right. So Tier 4 here, Flash Barrage. Flashbang now fires 3 grenades, each that do 56 damage in rapid succession. This, alright, sounds good. You know, more blinding, more damage on it. That increases the damage a good amount. Because now you're looking at, what would that be, 168 total damage if they all hit compared to 94. That's better by a decent amount. But maybe you can also kind of move it around and hit more enemies with the bangs if they have equal size explosions. Or Flash Merv, and the flashbang spawns 3 child grenades on impact that I'm assuming kind of go out like a Merv grenade in Borderlands 2, or I guess Merv grenades and other things. And will really increase the range and damage of it. The Merv to me sounds a little bit better. Sounds like it'll be more damage and a bigger area of effect. but without seeing them, I can't be sure, so this will be a cool thing to play with. Similar but different. Tier 5 increases the height of the Gravitic Manipulator's second jump, or increases the lateral thrust. Some people were confused about this in forums and they're asking some questions, but it's pretty straightforward. Is when you're double jump, if you go straight up, you can either go higher, or when you double jump to go left, right, forward, backwards, you get more movement that way. So it depends how you want to play them. But one thing they've really pushed on this is like the maps are different, and some will push you one way or another way. So respecking each one, like some of them, you'll want the ascent so you can get to that higher area, and then you can like flashbang and TMP from a great height and play from safety. Or some of them aren't going to be as vertical of maps, and then you'll want the thrusters. So that also sounds really cool, really interesting. And so far, they've showed a few more maps today, or at least little parts of them. They look pretty nice. Kinetic Burst, Tier 6. Kinetic Burst increases Gravitic Burst knockback effect. Or Rapid Dominance reduces Flashbang's cooldown minus 20%. I kind of like Dominance more in this one. Maybe you like the knockback effect if you're going to pick that skill where you jump back, exit strategy or whatever. Where was that? Tier 2, yeah, exit strategy, where you launch in the air after a strike them. So that way you knock them back and you launch in the air and you kind of pick them off with your TMP. But I think I'm going to really like Flashbang with him. So the cooldown there kind of sounds good to me, especially if I would go for something like this, where I get the extra movement speed every time I activate a skill. Cooldown will work well there. So Tier 7 reduces Caldarius' shield delay, minus 1.3 shield regen delay. I always love shield regen delay skills, so that's pretty nice for me. Or Microfusion Cell increases TMP magazine size plus 8 to the clip. I don't know which one of these is going to work out better. Might depend on play style, tank versus DPS. Which one do you go? I like the fact that they kind of make you choose at that point which way you want to do it. And it's just going to take some play style to see how you want it. If you got a lot of movement, maybe you don't need that shield regen delay because you're not getting hit as easily. We don't know. Wait and see, but once again, I like the choices. I like the way they alter how you play him. Gravitic Amplifiers increases Gravitic Burst damage plus 15%, or increases the burst dash distance. So once again, it's going to depend on how you play him, but again, I like the choices. The dash distance seems cool, because at this point, you can really get a lot of movement speed buffs and mobility buffs with this guy. Phase Bang. Flashbang grenades no longer collide with allies. So, like in Borderlands, if you throw a grenade and someone like jumps in front of you, can blow up right in your face. This way it just phases right to that target, kind of like a longbow style. And I like that. Or you can increase the radius of Flashbang's area of effect. So if you're really using your mobility, Phase Bang might not be an issue, where getting a bigger blind effect will definitely be helpful for you and your team. Tuned Acceleration Actuation. Aerial Assault now launches instantly, reduces Aerial Assault's cooldown minus 20%. Sounds good. Or fires a fragmented grenade that deals damage over time before initiating Aerial Assault's final dive. With this one, I don't know. Cooldown over more damage, 80 damage over 2 seconds. Again, they might tweak that number. That sounds decent compared to some of these numbers we're looking at. 160 damage added to all that. That's quite a bit. But doing it more also sounds pretty good. And generally, I love cooldown stuff. So that is Caldarius. He's quite different from Boulder. Even though he's still hybrid melee, not total melee. I promise you there's more non-melee characters coming. But yeah, I think he's really going to apply to the Zero characters, maybe a little bit to Athena characters, because she also had a Blood Rush similar to Execute. And yeah, he looks like a ton of fun. The nerd cred is real with a Gundam character, and he just looks awesome. There's gonna be some mystery and lore behind him. So yeah, I hope you guys are as excited about this game as I am. We just saw Benedict for the first time today. You guys should check out the videos of that if you haven't, because he's a Hawkman with a rocket launcher, and he can use his wings to like push enemies away with a force of air that comes off like as he launches in the air, and he looks pretty interesting. I mean, any first-person shooter with a Hawkman rocket launcher is a game I'm probably going to enjoy. So once again, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do that. Hit the like button. Show me or add comments to what you think about this game, if you're excited about it or not, why you are, why you aren't. And also, it's kind of similar to Overwatch from Blizzard. At least it looks kind of similar, but we're going to see, hopefully this week, how it differentiates itself from there. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.